My name is John Birch. We have a farm. It's called Windhover Farm. It's in Courtenay, British Columbia, on Vancouver Island. We've been in business for approximately 3 years. We've been on the farm for 5.5. We produce raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries, and we raise broiler chickens. But our future plans is to grow vegetables and have a market garden as well and sell from the farm.
We wanted to farm, and we knew we wanted to live on Vancouver Island, and we found out about a Future Farmer program in 1999. So we moved to the Comox Valley, and my husband and I got jobs on a cattle and hog farm that's just up the road from here, and apprenticed there for 2 years.
Well, we had a house in town in Courtenay, and I worked with an environmental consulting firm, and I still work for that firm full-time and half-time. Depending upon the season. We knew berry crops grew well in this area. We did research on U-picks and that business model. So it was finding a way to finance that.
We looked for 2 years for property, and this, although it didn't have the buildings maybe that satisfied our needs or wants, but definitely we chose excellent soil and water. And so having the great soil that we do and no lack of water is being huge, and that feels great. Every time I stick my hands or shovel into the soil, I know that that's been a success.
The field we're sitting in right now is just really, first-class agricultural soil. So we financed it with the selling of our house, and then we also went to the bank and financed it through the bank as well. So we had about half the money for the farm.
And so I think we knew when we moved in here that we would just be throwing ourselves into it at whatever cost.
First thing was we needed a shelter and for the family, so we had to work on that first. The variable with the berries was labor. How much labor was it going to be, and how much that was going to take. So that's kind of why we did it incrementally. So now we know exactly what it takes, but we didn't try to pull off 20 acres of berries all at one time.
It's really the only way to increase what we're doing is with more hands. Like, we definitely, probably the two of us couldn't do any more than we're doing now. So if we expand at all, labor will be a factor. But I think a lot of farms face the labor issue, availability, and the cost of it. We were thinking about livestock and knowing that dairy was out of the question. Financially, we started talking about layers or broilers as another option.
When we produced the broilers, we had a formal business plan. We knew exactly what we were going to be bringing in. We also knew our expenses beforehand, what we were going to, like how much it was going to cost to build. I think probably a lot of farmers get into a bind because they don't have the cash flow after that. They spend the money, and then all of a sudden they don't have that cash coming in to pay for the financing of the barn or whatever, or the equipment, whatever it takes. So yeah, it's a very important thing, especially if you have high capital costs. Extremely important. You could find yourself going bankrupt and not ever producing anything. Yeah, I come up here in the morning, and at night I check the computer, make sure that there's no alarms or anything like that. I also get called on my my BlackBerry if their alarm goes off. What do we need for that?
Post.
The greatest challenge is prioritizing time and money, but time, I think, is the most limiting factor, and very hard to know because you get sidetracked so easy. Whether it be weeding, whether it be planting, whether it be preparing another field for the next season. It's like, where do you put your energy? Where do you put your time? It's just a hard thing to know. hard thing to know which one to do first. I went to university and studied biology and environmental science. So farming actually allows me to focus on ecology and actually hands-on and get my hands dirty, and yeah, it's great. I mean, you're a mechanic, you're a ecologist, you're a biologist, you're a horticulturist, you're a cook. You're everything. Like, you've got to do everything on a farm, and I'm kind of like that. So.
I think that farming is meaningful work. I never question in my day whether I'm doing something that's worthwhile or that's making a positive impact on our family or the community. It's all encompassing as far as it's physical, it's mental, it uses a lot of different skills. So it's diverse. It will never be boring.
Right now we're sitting in our success. It's the greatest feeling after you've worked in the spring nonstop. You feel like you can't give anymore. And then actually to have a minute to sit here like we're doing now and watch the harvest come in, that's the biggest success. The plants are thriving and the harvest is actually coming in.